know ya. Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, gotta let me show ya. Nigeria, Bioko Island, Liberia, I wanna know ya. Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, gotta let me show ya. Nigeria, Bioko Island, Liberia, I wanna know ya.
Hey everybody, I want to know ya. Cameroon, how y'all doing tonight? Welcome to African Ancestry Live. I am Volt, was ready. Menelik was ready. I'm so happy to see everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Gina Page. I'm the president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. You know how we do, Zenobia. We are the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people all over the world. All over the world. We are doing this work. We're on a mission to help Black folks transform the way we view ourselves and the way we view Africa. And this is so important because our identities start forming as soon as we come into the world. We're somebody's baby girl, someone's little brother, someone's favorite grandchild, like I was, right? We have all these identities, influences on our identities, and as we move through life, we take from society. Some things are just thrust upon us, and we need to know the foundation. We need some tools for countering some of these influences that want to tell us who we are. And AfricanAncestry.com has a DNA test that will provide you with a tool to help you reimagine yourself with some new information that was stolen from your ancestors over 500 years ago. And so I'm proud to do this work. We have a whole team of people who are doing this work with us. And all of you roll with us. Y'all been riding with us for years. You ride with us every week. People like Daniel and our Cafe Cubano Keys. Chris is here. Monique. Hey, Monique Brewer. Monique Brewer is like the #1 African ancestry trivia expert. Della's here. 555 is here. Dealing the real. Okay. I want to know what that's about. Wayne, hello. Thanks everybody for being here. Glenda and Mary. Hey, Mary, Ruth and Lori, Yakota, all of you all. I love seeing your names. I wish we could do something where we were able to see your faces. But we gotta just wait for technology to catch up with us. So listen, we are on a roll with these lives. FBA Nigel, we've been doing these lives for a very long time. And we need your help. So we need you to share this, tag somebody in the comments, tell us people who you'd like to see on the lives. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe so you can be sure to get an announcement every time we're going live. We need your help to help keep this thing going. So subscribe, share, tag, do all those good things that you would do for the other things you love. We love you, you love us. So let's make this thing big. Let's do it. Tony, welcome. Hey, Avanti, glad to see you. I am looking forward to tonight's show. But before we go there, I got some reminders. So the first thing is we got some swag to give away. Daniel, I still don't have your email. Can you just DM me your, not your email, but your mailing address? DM me at Gina Page here on Facebook. Or Gina Page DNA. You all could DM me, Gina Page DNA on Instagram, and let me know your mailing address, Daniel, so we can get you your gift. So the first person to come on after 7 was Zenobia, but I think has Zenobia won already, Wendi? I don't know. Zenobia, have you won already? It's either Zenobia or our Cafe Cubano Keys. You guys one of you has won a notebook trio. This is actually my favorite thing that we have. We've had these printed by a Black publisher, Black Classic Press in Baltimore, Maryland. Well, BCP Digital in Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to Mr. Paul Coates. He publishes books by all of our great scholars, and he published these notebooks for us. The covers are lovely. They're just so inspiring when you get ready to take some notes. So these are a giveaway for tonight. Wendy's going to tell me who the winner is, and I will announce it, and then we'll need your mailing address. We also, Monique, you're ahead of the game. Monique says she got her Afro Latina colleague to buy the test. Can't wait till she takes it and gets her results. Look, we have a dope Afro Latina with us tonight. So let's get to it. Don't forget about um, Why You Matter, the Why You Matter campaign. I keep wanting to say, remember who you are. Zenobia is the winner. Zenobia, please email us your mailing address to info@africanancestry.com so we can get your notebook trio in the mail to you. Why You Matter is our campaign focusing on the brothers. We want the brothers to take this test, continue the lead that you take in your families, the leading roles, by finding out where you're from so that your family knows where they're from. We're talking about lineages here. So it only takes one person to take a test, and then everybody in the family on that line is going to know where they are from. We're going to Sierra Leone, y'all. We got another trip planned, African Ancestry Family Reunion on November 21st. So be on the lookout for posts about our experiences there. We got almost 30 people who are traveling to get citizenship to Sierra Leone. Shout out to Yakota. I get to meet him in person on that trip. And it's going to be an incredible experience for everybody who goes, even the people who are coming that aren't getting citizenship. There are some people who are part of the family who aren't getting citizenship, but are joining us on the trip. So I'm excited about that. We'll get to see Diallo again. That's what we got going on. But tonight, you all remember we tried to talk to our sister Edna Liliana Valencia Murillo, and she was in Cuba, and she tried everything she could to connect with us. And the Wi-Fi guys just didn't want that to happen. They wanted her to be at home and be comfortable in her environment. And so we have her with us tonight, besides being stunningly beautiful. And well, we'll get to that part, a little tidbit that I learned from her. She is a proud Afro-Colombian journalist, reporter, and news anchor in national and international television stations in the country of Colombia in South America. She is the former director and presenter of Africa 7 Days, and that's the only news program in Spanish that is 100% dedicated to the African continent. So we got a real one in Edna. She's the first news anchor in Latin America to present the news with her natural afro. So you know we got to talk about that. And she's a leader for the rights of the Afro population and for the vindication of natural hair. And that's not something we've really talked a lot about on our African Ancestry Live. So I'm excited to have that conversation with her. Listen, her list goes on. She's an international speaker. She's an influencer. She can show you, if you go on Instagram, I've gotten makeup tips from her. That's why I'm always telling her how beautiful she is, because she can just put on this makeup and still look just as beautiful as she looked without the makeup. She's also a poet. So listen, I want you all to find the Colombia flag in your emojis, or find they don't have any Afro emojis, some flowers, something. I want you all to join me in giving a true African Ancestry Live welcome to our sister, Edna Liliana Valencia Murillo. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Gina, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy to be here in the African Ancestry Lives. So it's me who needs to say thank you for the space. Thank you for the interview. I'm so happy to talk with you.
Well, thank you for being here. I was teasing her earlier. I said I had to go put on some lip gloss so I could hang. We have so much beauty at African Ancestry, and you just fit right on in. But that's a given. We as Black queens, we're all beautiful.
Exactly.
But you have a real power, and I want to dig right into your power. How did you cultivate your strong connection to Africa and to the things about us that we should be celebrating as African people? Have you been this way since childhood? Was it in your family, your community? Where did this come from?
I think it comes from a personal need that I had because I grew up in a white population majority city that is Bogota, the capital of Colombia, and here we have a lot of racism. For example, we don't have the African history in the books of official history of Colombia, for example. We don't have Black people in media. We don't have that Black influence, for example. And we are 12 million Black people in Colombia, but we grow up without the identity we need to have. So to me, in my case, I grew up thinking that I was just a Black girl. I knew that I was a Black girl, but I used to straighten my hair. I used to think that Africa was a country, a poor country, for example. I used to think that I was not really connected with Africa, you know. But when I understood that the only tool that I have to be able to fight against that racism was embracing my roots as an African descendant, as an Afro-Colombian, was the only way to understand my own person, my own roots, my own way to see the world, for example, because I think Africa is seen us not only as a look, not only as a color of skin, but Africa is the way we look the world, the way we dance, the way we understand history. So that was something that I started to study. Is not how can I say that? It's not magic. We
Mm-hmm.
need to work in our African identity. We need to search, we need to read, we need to see movies, we need to try to go to Africa, we need to take the fly and go to Africa. And I started to do it, I think, like 15 years ago. I was almost 20 years ago. I passed 20 years suffering because of racism and because of the lack of identity I had. But for the last 15 years, I have been connecting and reconnecting and studying and trying to create that new person that I really want to be. And it's an African person. It's an African woman born in Colombia. That's what I am.
I love that. That's identity at its core, an African woman born in Colombia. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, we don't learn anything in the mass media much about Colombia. I think if the first thing I would have thought of at one point was drugs, right? Be, that's just what the narrative that the media wants us to have about Colombia. And you said there are 12 million Afro-Colombians living in the country. Is the racism that you experienced there as an African person different than what we experience here? Is it institutionalized? How does it impact the people on a daily basis, generally speaking?
I think the racism is the same around the world. I think the basis of racism are the same. It's promoting capitalism and patriarchy, for example, in general terms. But racism is racism. So racism is invisibility, discrimination, not opportunities, stereotypes of beauty, focus on Eurocentric, I don't know, characteristics, for example. And I think racism is around the world at the same level. But in the case of Colombia, I need to talk about Chimamanda Adichie and that danger of a single story. We have been victims of the danger of a single story at the same time that people used to think that Africa is a country and Africa is only poverty and war. We as Colombian, we have the stereotype of being a country of war, a country of drugs, and that's the only point of view that people has about our country. That's so sad because Colombia is a lot more than that. We are a diverse community. We have more than 12 million people, Black population here in Colombia. We have 111 indigenous communities still.
Mm.
We have 98 different languages, different than Spanish, for example. We have an African language we still have here, a Bantu language in the Caribbean, in San Basilio de Palenque. So Colombia is an amazing country. We have diversity. We have diversity also in the, how can I say, in the nature. We have different biodiversity is what I want to say. I'm a little nervous, sorry. We have biodiversity, we have social diversity, we have a very interesting story. For sure, we have problems like drugs, like war. We are not in war. This is not a war country. We have a conflict that already we are already trying to pass that chapter of our story. But yeah, I think people need to know more about Colombia in comparing, for example, with the African American community. At least we know that there's Black people in the United States. At least we know there's Black people in Brazil, but nobody knows about Black people in Colombia, Panama, Ecuador, Peru. We are more than 200 million Black people in Latin America. We are only in Colombia. We are 12 million, as I said. We are almost the same population that Benin, for example, in Africa. We are almost an African country here. So I think we need to start breaking that danger of the single story. We need to start learning different stories about ourselves, and we need to understand that Black people is everywhere. Africa is everywhere. There's not only Black people in Africa, the United States, and France, for example. But the diaspora is everywhere. In Latin America, we are a strong diaspora, and we need to increase our visibility.
And I'm so glad that you are here to represent the Latin American diaspora for us. I mean, of course, you're just one person, but you are such a powerful voice and such a courageous voice. FBA Nigel had a couple of questions that I think fit in quite well in this segment. So he wants to know about the mestizos, and are any of the mestizos counted as part of the 12 million of Blacks in the population? Or do they have a separate category?
Yeah, to me, that's my perception. Colombia is a mestizo population country. Everybody in Colombia is mestizo. We have Black blood, African blood, indigenous blood, I mean like the originary towns of the continent. And we have, for sure, European blood. So we are all mestizo people, mestizo population. When I talk about Black people, I'll talk about people like me or darker, for example, maybe a little light skinned of me, but I'm talking about people who you can see that has that African ancestor. So if I go, for example, to Africa, I will say Senegal, people will see me like a Black mestiza. But here in Colombia, I'm a Black girl. But if you talk about mestizo population in Colombia, we're talking about the majority. That people that you see, for example, in TV, that's everybody. They are not white people. They are people mixed between indigenous population, European population, and African population. We are a mix. But when I talk about Black people, yeah, we are if you see us, we are Black people. We have dark skin, we have our Afro hair, we have our culture. We have a lot of people that maybe is not that dark skin, but still has the culture, for example, still has the vision, the personal vision as a Black person. So like self-recognition is very important also in that case.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. I've got so many questions, even beyond the questions that we talked about. So let me just kind of piggyback on that for a second. And I'm curious about where you got the courage to wear your hair natural and come out professionally in full, having fully embraced your Africanness in a society where it's not, doesn't sound like it has been acknowledged in any positive way. What gave you the courage to do that?
I think my courage comes from the new generations. When I think in the new generation of Black girls who are at home looking at the TV station or looking at the TV channels or the news anchors, and they don't have references of identity as Black girls. When I was a little girl of 4, 6 years old, my dream was to be a news anchor. But when I finished the school, I went to study sports. That is also a very interesting career. But I think it was because I didn't have a reference of identity as a Black woman working in the news. So I think references of identity are the opportunity to empower the potentials of the new generations we have. If you as a Black girl or as a Black boy, you only see people in the sports, in the music, or poor people, or people representing slavery, so you will see yourself at the same level. So we need to show Black girls, like, I'm not fan of the beauty contest, for example, but we need it.
Right.
You know? We need beauty queens, we need journalists, we need doctors, we need Gina Pages, for example. We need
Oh,
a lot of people inspiring new generations. So at the beginning, I did it because of that. But after, when I did my transition process, because it's a very interesting transition, leaving the chemicals and starting to let grow my natural hair was a very long process. It was a process that um, made me won the power to really do it for myself, not only for the new
mhm.
generations. At the end, I understood that my hair is a crown, that is an African crown. And I understood also that the problem from the society to the Afro hair is not the hair, is the African heritage. They want to hide the African heritage in Latin America. They want to hide the African heritage in the different continents. They want to pretend that there's only white people or straight hairs around. But if we start to let our African crowns grow up, they will see that Africa is everywhere. So that's the power of our Afro hair.
And so, what kind of reactions did you get, Edna, that first day when you came on set and you were rocking your crown? What kind of reactions did you get from the crew, and then what kind of reactions did you get from the viewers?
Okay, was from the crew was very funny. I was surrounded of white people. It's a national TV station. I was the first reporter working there. I was the first news anchor working in that TV station, and they were like, "Okay, you look very international." you know,
Ah,
you have the personality to look at your hair. Like, was to me was like, if I was, for example, an African American journalist, so I can wear my natural hair, but me as an Afro-Colombian, I can't. That's the perception I had about that kind of comments. But then outside, when people saw me, was very I was very, at least I know that I put the debate in the Colombian society about Afro hair. It
mm,
was a debate. It was a lot of people saying that this is historical to us, for the first time, a Black lady wearing the natural hair in the news. So now we have an identity reference, blah, blah. I'm so proud. A lot of good comments, but also a lot of people saying that what happened with her? You need to go to the beauty salon. You need to go to straighten your hair. You look like a broccoli. You look like a
oh, what?
microphone. Yeah, yeah,
Wow,
yeah. It's
broccoli.
still a debate. It's still a debate. I think we as Black women, we are still trying to have the opportunity to be with what we are. We're still trying to live in our bodies in liberty, and that's a slavery, um, a heritage in some way. They still think that Black women, we are not owners of our bodies, of our images, of our heads. Our hairs are not from us still. So it's my boss who want to decide how I will wear my afro, how I will wear my hair that grows in my head. The society who will decide how I have to look to be a journalist is my husband, who will decide for my own image. Because me, as an African of the diaspora, I want to look like an African of the diaspora, with my African fabrics, with my Afro hair, with my dark skin. I would love to be more dark skin. I find really, really, really beautiful the African beauty. No, I would love to be a little darker, but I love my skin exactly like it is.
Yeah.
So I think we are still trying to find that power to live in our bodies in liberty. And that's why I identify that studying history is very important, but finding the roots in the African continent is very important.
So before we get to that, because everybody's dying to know what your ancestry is, there was a question about political alliances, and does the can can Afro Afro Colombians create a political alliance or have they created one in Colombia? And then do you think culturally that Latin American people can create a political alliance um, like they
I
did in
think
the
we need,
Caribbean?
I think we need to do it. We need to do it, but we are not still doing that I think if we do it, it will be like Black Panther, something like that. If we start the power we have in terms of political decisions, in terms of economic power, creating enterprises, creating, for example, Black TV stations, talking about ourselves, rewriting our story, forgetting the false story we have, writing a new story or a real story, about ourselves. So we will have to do that. I think talking about political issues, Black hair is still a political issue. Afro hair is still a political issue. We are still talking about identity and human rights when a Black woman tried to just wear the hair that grows in her head. That's human rights, right of identity, the right of for example, the image, the right to work, the right to go to the school. But in terms of political influence, we will have to do that in some moment if we want to win visibility and to be able to change our realities. It's very important to create awareness spaces of political empowerment. I think, yeah, in Colombia we are trying, but it's not that easy because we are struggling still with the lack of identity of Black population. So people is like, yeah, I'm Black, but not that Black. No, I'm brunette. I'm Latin. I'm Caribbean. you know. But it's very difficult to identify yourself as an African if you only have bad references about Africa. If Africa is to you a country with the slaves and poor people in AIDS and wars, you will not want
You
to be
don't want to be
related.
from there. Yeah, there's
Of
no
course, you
value
don't
in
want to
being
be in
from
the
there.
illusion. But if
Yeah.
you if we start to see Africa like it really is, with the good part and with the not good part, as everybody in the world, we need to understand that Africa is the more amazing continent in the world, and from that we can start changing the lack of identity and creating, for example, political movements.
I love it. Everybody, we're talking with Edna Liliana Valencia Murillo, who is an international journalist representing for the Afro-Colombian community. And she is also part of the African Ancestry family. So, Edna, we know that you have various family members who have taken the African Ancestry test, and everyone's dying to know whose cousin you are. So what did we find for your African ancestry results?
Okay, okay. I want to tell you a couple tips about the country of my origin, and I want you try to identify which country I am. What do you think, Gina? Are you here?
I'm here. I can see you. We just have you on your own screen. So everybody, this is Edna's
Okay.
version of fact or wax. She's giving us
Okay.
facts. These
I
are
will
all
give you
truths.
a couple of tips about this
Okay.
country,
Okay, let's
and
go.
you will try to imagine which country I'm talking about. So
Okay.
first of all, I need to say that is a little country of West Africa. So just thinking West Africa and think the big countries and the little countries of West Africa.
And
So it's a little country.
which lineage is this one? Is this your
Which
father or your mother's brother?
this is my father. This is my
Okay.
father. This is my father. My father. Yes, this is my
Okay.
father tree. Yes. So it's a little country in West Africa. It has a very interesting story. Second tip: this country has the most beautiful beach. The most beautiful beaches. I'm talking about the beach with the sea. In the whole continent. It's very famous because of that.
Okay, a small country that has the most beautiful beaches on the continent. I don't see
Yeah,
anybody. No one
and
has guessed it yet. Okay.
to finish, third tip is okay. I will give you because someone is saying Cape Verde. I need to search that it's in the continent, not an island. You know,
Okay.
that's just. And to finish, it was a country created by the United Kingdom to send back the Black people after they start to finish with the slavery.
Oh yeah,
The
so there are
story,
some people have gotten it actually.
yeah, for
Not
sure. So
Tanzania. Tanzania is in East Africa. But I think we
Exactly.
got some winners here. We got
We have some winners.
Arturo got it, Adama got it, Yakota got
Yeah,
it, Avanti. So go ahead, tell
yeah,
us.
Yokota strong. That's my country, Sierra Leone. I'm a happy Sierra Leonese African Colombian girl. Clap, clap, clap.
Yes, let's throw up some Sierra Leone flags for Edna's paternal ancestry. Woo, 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 woo. Now,
Yeah,
which
I'm so
group?
happy.
Which group in
I'm
Sierra
Limba,
Leone?
two groups. Two groups. Limba and Mambe people from Sierra Leone.
Nice, nice. And we know that the Limba people are the oldest ethnic group
Yeah.
in Sierra Leone. Oh, this is lovely. So you're going to have to meet us next year in Sierra Leone
Yeah.
and get your citizenship, Edna.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I was talking about Wendi, that for people to know is what is part of the African Ancestry team, and I was like, lady, I want to have my citizenship. I want to have my Sierra Leone passport, and I want to be able to go when I want to my country. And because I used to say that I'm, as I said at the beginning of the interview, I'm an African woman born in Colombia, and now I want people is like, you're crazy, you're not African, and I want to. I don't need nobody to tell me that I actually am. I know I am, and I can I identify myself as an African if I want. But I would love to have that passport and that citizenship. So yeah, I'm so happy.
Nice, nice. And then we also traced your mother's paternal line. And
Exactly,
can you
yes.
share with us what that result is?
Yeah, that's another interesting country. Let me tell you something about that country. That country is in Middle West Africa, you know, almost center, almost middle. That country has a lot of artists, a lot of art. It used to be a French colony, and it used to have a president who stayed for so long time there, you know. And the country's name begins with G and finish with
Tip.
N. What do you
That's
think?
a great tip. If you guys don't know that one, then I
So
gotta kick you
easy.
out the family. It starts with G and it ends with the letter N. Starts with a
Yeah, it's
G.
very,
You
it's very,
see,
it's
Kevin.
very, it's very easy.
There you go.
Someone,
FBI Nigel got it. Gabon. And so you are the
Gabon is
people
my
of
other
Gabon.
country. Yeah, Gabon is my other country, so I'm so happy. I'm from Akele people, from Gabon. I feel so proud that I can't just smile to know. But yeah, I'm from Akele people from Gabon. I was not expecting that. I used to think that I was from Senegal, let me tell you,
Mm,
because the culture of Senegal is very similar to the culture of my homeland. I'm from the Pacific coast of Colombia. The name of
mm-hmm.
my department is Choco. The city is Quibdó. And if you see the phenotypes, if you see the music, if you see the food, if you see the aesthetic of the streets and everything is very similar to Dakar in Senegal. And in Gore Island is just in front of Cartagena, if you see. So I used to think that I was from Senegal. By the other hand, when I go to the United States or to Spain or whatever, France even, people used to say that, are you from Ethiopia? Are you from Ethiopia? It looks like I look like an Ethiopian girl. So, but we know it was not colony or slavery in Ethiopia, so it was not exactly a possibility to me. The only
Yeah.
country that was not colonized by Europe was Ethiopia. I would love to be from that country. I feel like an Ethiopian, like a Rasta girl from Ethiopia. But yeah, no. Gabon, Akele, and Sierra Leone with Limba and Mambepi.
And so we're waiting for your matriclan results to come back so we can celebrate yet another lineage. Yakota Strong is so excited. He's like, we're double cousins because he has a Gabon lineage and a Sierra Leone lineage. So you got some new family here in the chat,
Yeah,
in the
for sure.
comments, Edna. There
And
is
I will have to
one
do a
thing.
tour in Africa, not only a trip, but a tour from different countries in Africa. I will have to go to Sierra Leone and Gabon, and whatever. Maybe the other one is Senegal, and I will be very happy to go back.
Definitely have some good food in Senegal. Somebody, I wanted to just address the difference between African Ancestry's test and some of the other tests out there. So the other companies trace your ancestry and they look at your entire genetic family tree. So if you think of it as they're looking at all of the different branches of your family tree, and then they're consolidating them into percentages based on different regions. So you get some percentage of a Nigeria region, some percentage of a region that they call Cameroon and the Congo, some percentage of a region they call Ivory Coast and Ghana. And they've decided how to segment the continent. And so you get percentages, but with those percentages, you don't know which side of the family it comes from, you don't know which lineage, and you don't know which ethnic group. So I'm so proud that you and everyone on here who are part of the African Ancestry family, because you guys, we have specific information. We can drill down now into the cultures that you've been talking about, into the beliefs and the practices, the foods, the fashions, the music, whatever it is, whatever makes us feel good. We can explore that from the people that we share ancestry with, and not just a region. But speaking of family, how did your family react to this information?
Well, very funny. I need to be very honest about this. And no, not everybody in my family was like expecting for the results. But to me, it was an opportunity to start creating with that part of my family that doesn't feel very African, that discussion about we are really Africans. So it's like a tool to do a lot of pedagogy, maybe to do a lot of work in terms of education with my family, talking about, look, this is the country we are, this is the community where we are, that's the people who was our ancestors, so it was very nice. But on the other hand, talking about my father, my mother, my sister, we were very excited to know. It's very funny how just to know the name of the country give you that part of your identity you were trying to find a long time ago. It's amazing. It's just to know a place. You're not anymore an slave who come in a ship. You are an African for the first time. So that's very powerful to us. I think, for example, you were talking about the difference between African ancestry and other enterprises of genetical tests. And African ancestry has a mission, and it's giving us the opportunity to finish seeing ourselves as people who come from nowhere,
Right.
come from the slavery, from the chains, from the poverty. We come from Africa, from a specific country, from a specific community, and that is like a part of our personal construction that we really need to know. So to me, it was very special just to see that name Sierra Leone Gabon in the results. Give me the opportunity to just feel myself complete as an African of the diaspora.
I love it. And there are a lot of comments I want to address too, Edna, about European lineages. And you talked about how the people of Colombia are all mestizos. They've got African ancestry, indigenous ancestry, European ancestry. So when we trace maternal lineages at African ancestry, we tend to find an African result. 92% of the people that take a matriclan test will get an African result. Not everybody. Some, the other 8%, we find that they have a European ancestor or they have an indigenous ancestor. When we look at the paternal line of the family tree, it's very different. So I'm excited that both of your mother's paternal and your paternal came back African, because 35% of the time those come back European. Someone asked about Portugal and as a colonial power, and some of the other European countries. It was the men that were fathering children with enslaved women. And so that's why we see European ancestry more often when we trace a paternal line. We haven't traced enough Afro Latinx people to be able to identify any trends, Chati Yakazi, but we're working on that. We're going to be working with Edna to help spread the word around among our cousins throughout Latin America. And one of the things I hope you all take away from this is just how aligned our situations are. Everything that Edna, that you've described about racism and how it's international, and the challenges that are faced by Blacks in Colombia are the same here. You know, it's just we're a few steps ahead. We have the Crown Act, you know, but we have women in the military who are still fighting to be able to wear their hair as it grows out of their head. So wherever we are as people of African descent, it appears that we are experiencing the same challenges. And I am very grateful that you have the courage to stand up and to fight the fight to educate all of us, because we're all learning from you, not just the people in Colombia are learning from you. So
Thank you.
what
Gina,
what is
I
one of
just want to ask you one
yeah, go
second
ahead.
just to answer our question we have here. Yeah, it is Marcus King says that we have all different looks in Africa. So what does Afro-Colombian look like? That's a very interesting question to me, because if you see Afro-Colombian people, but Afro-Panamanian, Afro-Dominican people, we have different like phenotypes, because during the slavery, yes, they used to catch African people from different communities for they to don't be able to talk between them. So if you come here, you will see people who looks like people from Mambel community, from Limba community, from Wolof community. So we have a lot of different phenotypes. When I went to Senegal, for example, I was shocked that to see a lot of people that really looks like people here. And
Hmm.
when I went to Ivory Coast, I see a lot of people that I was like, "Are you my uncle?" Yeah, it's very very funny to see how here in the diaspora we are mixed between the different phenotypes of Africa. But in general terms, we look like African people. If you see, with the different looks we have. Yeah, it was just that I wanted to say.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. What can you share with me maybe one of your most valuable lessons that you've learned throughout this process of rebuilding and reconnecting to Africa?
I need to tell you, not only a lesson, but a dream come true. That's what it means to me. I know about African ancestry a long time ago, like 5 years ago, and was a dream I had. I didn't understand why I take so long to do the test. I really wanted to do it a long time ago. Sometimes we delay that kind of experiences. I don't know why. Like, I would love to know the country. I would love to take the test, and you let time go fast. And it happens the same with the opportunity to go to Africa, for example. I want to go to Africa one day. I have to travel to Africa before I die, something like that. But you can go right now. You can buy the ticket and go. And you can take the test right now and do it. So now I think that I was just like, letting time goes and not doing that this dream I had. But now, when I know there is a dream that already comes true, thanks to you, Gina, I need to tell you, thank to you, thank to Diallo, thank to Nicole, to Wendy, all the team in African Ancestry
Everybody.
who was in touch with me like 2 years ago, maybe 1 year and a half ago. It's amazing to know that it's already a dream come true. And as a lesson, I have to tell you, I think it was that. It was like, if you want to embrace your African identity, go get it. Go get it. You don't need to wait to do it. Right now, I'm thinking I want to go to Sierra Leone, and I was thinking, may I go to the trip in November? Why not? If not, I will try to go in April, but I will do it because that's the principal lesson I have here. I really wanted to be African. I know I'm African, but now I know my country and my community, and I have the opportunity to go and see them by person, and have a citizenship, for example. So yeah, I think this is the principal lesson I have. If you feel that like someone without a real identity, if you feel a lack of identity in yourself, if you feel there's something incomplete in terms of your African heritage, go get it. Go read, go research, go do it, go talk about Africa in public, go learn about the different countries. We need to be experts about Africa. We need to know at least how much countries Africa has. I don't know if people here knows how much countries Africa have.
Let's
Someone
see.
can
Drop
tell
in the
me?
comments if you know how many countries are in Africa. Let me see the numbers in the comments. Go ahead, Edna.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think we need to be experts in ourselves because the system, the colony, they made us forget who we are. You know, So I just remember who you are. That's real. Because they make us forget what we are. They make us forget the power we have as African people in African descendants. So we need to start learning more about ourselves in terms of personal experience, like the genetic test, and in terms of history. For example, you need to know about Ethiopia. Not every country in Africa was in the colony and was like colonized, or it was people who resist. African history doesn't begin with the slavery. We are the origin of the humanity, and when you start to learn that, your self-concept start to change, start to be more powerful. So I think we need to start really studying about these issues, not only it's not only to let your Afro hair grow. You need your Afro hair, but you need to the content in your head also.
I could not be more proud to have you as part of the African Ancestry family, Edna. And I know that you've graced us with your time and you have another engagement right after this. So everybody, will you please, you've been dropping hearts, you've been dropping flags, but just one more time, let's drop some thank yous in the chat for Edna Liliana Valencia Murillo. She is our Afro-Colombian sister. And we learned a lot from you tonight. And I just thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for the legacy that you're establishing for your people where you live as an African woman in Colombia. Thank you so very much. And we're gonna talk so we can get some details together for how we're gonna spread the word in your communities. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Gina. I just want to say about the countries of Africa is a very interesting issue to understand. We think we have 55 countries in Africa if we see it from the African Union perspective. The African Union recognized 55 African countries, taking in account West Sahara, remember.
Right.
But the non-African community, I think, for example, the UN doesn't recognize West Sahara as a country. They recognize it as part of Morocco. So it's a political position to recognize the 54 or the 55 countries in Africa. To me, I believe in what the African people say. They say there's 55. The African Union says 55. So to me, there's 55.
I know that's right. Speak on it, Professor Murillo. Speak on it. You have taught us well tonight. And just so you know, you have taught everybody who put 54, including myself, in the chat. So next time we ask this question, it's going to be full of 55s.
Yeah, you can choose your political position about that. I'm just explaining that there's a tricky thing about that. You need to know.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, Gina. I'm so happy to have my test. I'm so happy to talk with you. I really admire your work a lot. I really want to go to Washington to see you. I hope you come to my country. I promise I will bring you to San Basilio de Palenque, Cartagena, Quibdó, Buenaventura, San Andres, and you will see a lot of Black people, potential users of the test, but also you will see that Africa is not only in Africa, not only the United States, not only the Caribbean. We as an Africans, we need that space in the screen. So welcome to Colombia. You have a home here, and thank you for making me part of your family of African ancestry.
Thank you so much, everybody. This is our new sister, Edna Liliana Valencia Murillo. We're going to let you go. Have a really very good rest of the evening, Edna.
Thank you, Gina. I just want to share with you my social media in case you want
Oh,
to
yes.
follow me.
We need to put that up. We got to follow her. Everybody, pull out your phones if you're not on your phone right now. Go on over to Instagram, and she's at Edna Liliana _ on Instagram, and where else can they follow you?
Yes, Edna Liliana underscore is my Instagram account. That's the one I use more than Facebook and other accounts. Um, yeah, I need to tell you that, just to finish, that
No,
it
it's
looks
okay.
like
You
I
can
will
stay as long
continue.
as you want. I just know you have somewhere to be.
No,
You're welcome to stay.
thank you. No, no, no. Because in the introduction you said, because I told you that I was the former anchor of Africa 7 Days, but I think it looks like I will continue at least for one more year. So I will
Nice.
continue talking about Africa in Spanish. It's the only show about Africa in Spanish. So it's very important for us to start to understand the dynamics of the continent. So I think I will continue on TV for a couple, you know, yeah, for a couple, not a couple months, not a couple years, but at least 1 year more, you know? So yeah,
Well,
this is me.
congratulations. I wish
Thank
we
you.
could see it, but we wouldn't know what you were saying. But
Yeah, so yeah.
congratulations. That's important. And again, what you're doing is just incredibly important for all of us. We actually have next week we're going to be doing a reveal of a girl whose mother is Ecuadorian. So she lives here and she's an Afro-Ecuadorian, and we're really excited to present her ancestry to her. So we got we're keeping the theme going. We're about the diaspora, and thank you for allowing us to learn more about your community.
Yeah, welcome Gina to Colombia. Welcome to the Afro Latin region of this world. And I hope we continue working together.
We definitely will. Have a really good night, everybody. So as I said, bye bye. We have our guest next week is going to be, I think she's 11, an 11-year-old who's going to find her roots, and we have a clip to share with you.
I'm so excited to find out my results. Thank you, Dr. Page.
Isn't she adorable? Adorable. We're looking forward to talking with her next week. Isabella Izzy, she goes by Izzy Ali. She's an honor student, and we can't wait to talk to her. She's been waiting very patiently for her results, and I just, it's an honor that she's willing to share her reveal with all of us here on African Ancestry Live. So again, if you all enjoy these lives, please do us a favor and help spread the word. Tag someone in the comments. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, and share so that we can help more people understand the power of knowing exactly where in Africa you come from, and helping to transform the way they view themselves and the way they view Africa. If you have young people in your lives, bring them on with you next Wednesday as we do the reveal for Izzy. I think she'd love to know that there's some young people supporting her, but I think it's important for them to see themselves in this process as well. So please do that. And, we still live in a world where it's important to wear a mask in many places. I still wear my mask everywhere I go. It's still prudent to social distance, keep a distance from people because the pandemic is not over. It's just as important to support your mental health right now and that of those you love, as well as continuing to support your immune system. The winter's coming. It's coming. And so we don't want to slack up now and catch colds and flus and everything else. So please continue to care for yourselves and care for your friends and your loved ones. I talked to a friend today who's having a hard time. And it's important to stop and have the conversation and support them in any way that we can. Until we meet again. Oh, wait. Shout out to Wendi, our producer, Wendi, holding it down in the background. She makes all of this possible, and I really appreciate all the work that you put into African Ancestry Lives, Wendi. Thank you so much. Until we meet again, everybody, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. I'll see you next week.